Dragon Ball games are currently in a rut right now. For example, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 2 was probably one of the worst DLCs that I've had the displeasure of experiencing in a long time with their lack of content and their promotion. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC 19, you can argue that they didn't do a lot of promotion and that there could have been a lot more in terms of content, parallel quests, and more. Right now, things are kind of looking bleak, but there might be positivity for those who care about that type of stuff. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look. You see, Summer Game Fest is coming very soon, and after doing some research, apparently Dragon Ball Sparking Zero one of their trailers when they were doing that whole promotional stuff last year, it was on that show last year. You know, when Ultra Instinct got revealed, and apparently they had lots of demos during that time. Oh boy. So at least there was precedent. Well, apparently Bandai Namco makes their return in 2025. Yep. So for the Summer Game Fest 2025, Bandai Namco will be part of this event. And DBS Hype mentions it as well. That's how I found out about this information. And he mentions Dragon Ball Multi. We're going to get to that. So let's kind of take a look at this. So long story short, it seems that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has the possibility of being part of this event, at least as DLC, if the developers are smart, if the publishers are smart, which, you know, is debatable. So let's look at this. The Summer Game Fest live show takes place on Friday, June 6th, starting at the following times. I'm just going to focus on North America. 2 p.m. PDT, 3 p.m. MDT, 4 p.m. CDT, 5 p.m. EDT. So in my case, it would start at June 6th on 5 p.m., which would be sometime next week, I believe. Let's kind of look at this here. Where can you watch Summer Game Fest 2025? The live show for Summer Game Fest will be streamed in all the usual places like YouTube and Twitch. We'll also be hosting a live chat to go alongside the showcase. Wonderful, because we all know that that fan bases are intelligent in their chat. So you can discuss and relate to all the announcements alongside the Push Square community. Our live article will be published in the hour before the live stream starts. If you're unable to tune in to Summer Game Fest 2025, then you can visit our homepage afterwards for a complete roundup of all the PS5, etc. reveals. How long will the Summer Game Fest 2020 event be? Geoff Keighley I'm probably pronouncing his last name incorrectly, but he hasn't confirmed a rough runtime for the live show yet. But based on previous years, you should expect Summer Game Fest 2025 to last for roughly 2 hours. Okay. In the days after, media attendees will have the chance to play many of the games featured during the showcase, so there will be further coverage as part of the Play Days initiative. So what does this all mean? Well, I guess that if the publishers are smart, which God knows if they even are at this point anymore, then we could expect Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 3 to be officially revealed as a trailer or any of that stuff. You see, the thing is that in the perfect world, which unfortunately this world isn't perfect, but in a perfect world, here's what Bandai Namco could do. Bandai Namco could show off the DLC 3 for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and show off like very small bits of Super Saiyan 4 Goku Daima and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Daima. Or even show off the mini versions of the characters and then kind of like do more teasers and kind of like image reveals and all of that stuff. If everything goes well, then we could be seeing an actual trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 3 because there at least is a precedent that, hey, you know what? We showed off the trailer last year, so we're going to do it again, and it's just going to be a quick thing. That's what they could do. The problem is Bandai Namco is run by incompetent morons at this point. What do I mean by that? Well, you know what? For Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 2, they did a jack squat when it came to promotion. With Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 DLC 19, they did jack squat when it came to promotion. So it's like there is that possibility that they could just go here, damn, when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 3 and just put it out and then just reveal it and just like put out the official release date the next day. Basically, what I'm saying is there's a chance of a a quick release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC3 where no one gets any type of preparation. And this has been a constant thing with Bandai Namco where they did all that nonsense demo promotion, which I completely detested last year. But then now it's like they hold back. It's like something is wrong within their company, the management, to where they don't do jack squat anymore. And so what happens is people don't know when the DLC is going to come and they just release it just like that. If you compare this to how the previous DLCs were when it comes to Xenoverse 2 and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it was a lot better. You know, we got constant updates, or at least a slow release, or what do you call it? A slow burn of updates. And now they're not doing that. So clearly something is going on within this incompetent company. And it's frustrating a lot of people, including me. Like a lot of the times I even detest covering this game because not only because of my own frustrations, but because of the way Bandai Namco handles things. And for me, I'm just so tired and frustrated. But you know what? Maybe my opinion can change if they decide to get their heads out of their asses and, you know, give us actual news of DLC3. You know, do a slow burner. Make us hyped. In terms of the characters who are likely to come to DLC3, I saw this at Game Rant, I believe, and they posted Mini Goku Super Saiyan 3 for Adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Piccolo Mini. I wonder if they will include them. Gomah, Tamagami 1, 2, 3. I think this thing is realistic, except for maybe Super Saiyan 2 Mini Goku. But still, honestly, my opinion is I think that there's probably a 50-50 shot that we'll see DLC 3 for Summer Game Fest, just because of the incompetence of this company. You'd think that with with how Daima is, that, you know what, hey, we're gonna go all out in June, etc. We're gonna start promoting our DLC, and we're gonna start giving you guys a heads up on when this DLC will actually come. We're gonna start promoting our things like intelligent beings, but within this company, we have lazy incompetence. And then in other news, we have an update when it comes to Dragon Ball Project Multi. You know, the game that they they gave us a beta or whatever last year, and then we haven't heard jack squat since. Well, apparently we have some news about that game. You know, the game that I can't even play anymore. I don't even know how to play because it's like they didn't give us enough time. And because of that Sparking Zero nonsense. But apparently Dragon Ball Project Multi's real name has been revealed. And I'm not gonna pronounce this. Don't be ridiculous. But yes, I can confirm that on the SteamDB page, the name has been changed to that. So I guess that could be a name change. That will be the official localized name. Who knows? But yes, obviously, I think it's pretty much near guaranteed that that game is going to make an appearance on the Summer Game Fest. As for Sparking Zero, that's the wild card. Honestly, I don't know. For me, I have a very depressive look when it comes to Dragon Ball games, just because this company, you know, they treat people like morons and they don't give a damn about most people, and they treat people like they're not even at this point. Unless you're XYZ, you're not even human. That's what I think that Bandai Namco treats people, and it's so frustrating. But yeah, that's it for now. I hope we get DLC3 news, and if not, then that just shows the stupidity of Bandai Namco.